Okay, I wanted to show you what I did to try and get the old plunger tube off of there. This end was snapped, I showed you that before, so I took my Dremel tool and a little grinder and started cutting it away there because I didn't want to come from the inside, this being in a aluminum frame. So anyways, as I was getting close to it, I thought I could bend up the plunger tube a little bit and move it over to kind of protect where I was grinding in case I didn't want to slip on the frame. I had it all taped up and stuff. So I basically went in with an awl and then pried it up, and it just snapped off. So this was a very, let's see if I can focus on it. If I move that. There we go. This was just kind of a crappy part, I think. You can kind of see where maybe there was a void in there. NIM parts, what are you going to do? I got the Wilson Combat plunger tube, the bulletproof one. This is a part, like it says on the back, that's going to be on your frame, so you might as well get a good one. You can pause your video if you want to read that. Anyhow, here's what it looks like. Looks like a plunger tube. It kind of has not a blued finish, but a black, almost Parkerized kind of look to it, so it's not going to blend in perfectly with the frame. Now the Wilson tube is just ever so slightly a little bit too big, which is good because you want it to fit tight. I've already kind of test fitted it. Let's see if I can put it back on there on camera. But it doesn't fall into the holes. See, it's starting, but it is putting up a fight. Okay, the holes actually, I think, appear to be just undersized because you can only get it started just a little bit there. So I'm going to have to examine this a little bit closer. Okay, there it is, just pressed on. What I basically did is put my vise on it and just gently, and it went right in. So it's going to be a good tight fit when I put the tool on it and expand the pins. It's looking good so far. Thought I would show you the tool that you use to put the plunger tube on. This is what peens or spreads the leg of the plunger tube. So what you do is you put this piece over the plunger tube, and then you put this down inside the frame. Make sure you're careful to get this on the plunger tube leg that you need to spread. So basically the plunger tube goes in this groove, and you position this tool like that, and then you just crank it down and it will spread that leg on the plunger tube that holds it in the frame. There we go. There's a look at the back side of the plunger tube. And those little guys are going to be spread out. That's what they look like before you spread them. Okay, here's a look with the tool installed. You want to make sure you have the end that flares it. Make sure you get that on the plunger tube. You don't want it to be off, or you're going to, especially with an aluminum frame, you're just going to tear it up. So I'm going to put the tool in the vise, and then I'm going to give this bolt a crank here, and we're going to flare that. I'm not going to show you that on camera though, because it's 8 degrees out and my garage is kind of dark for filming when I can't open the garage door. Okay, there's the front. You can see it flared there. So there's what the flared one looks like, and then there's the unflared one in the back. It went pretty easy. Okay, one thing I had to do is cut a little notch in the tool for the ejector, and it was a bear trying to line that up. Okay, you can see there we're trying to get that sucker lined up. I put a lot of little scratches in there, which sucks. Maybe in hindsight I should have put some tape around it. Might have helped me actually. Anyway, it is done. I didn't get quite the as big a flare as I did on the front one, but there it is. New plunger tube on there. And the tool marked the top a little bit. on the edge too, which kind of sucks, but oh well. Ah! Okay, so apparently I must have crushed this a little bit, because now the simple job, not so simple, because my plungers will not fit in the plunger tube. So what I do is I look on Burnell's for a solution, so I don't have to grind this one off and do a new one. And they have, lo and behold, they have plunger tube reamers. Two sizes, one for the front, one for the back. So I'm thinking, okay, I can save this job. Instructions are very simple. You put your frame into a vise and you gently insert the reamer in there and you turn clockwise. But as you may or may not see, as I'm turning, and the blade is not turning because the handles on these two pieces of shit are turning around the shaft. So basically I have two big long drill bits with handles that I can't turn. So now I have to send these things back to Burnell's, pay the frickin' shipping, try to get some that work, to try and save something I screwed up. So now I'm really pissed. So I got a little bit pissed off with this, and the first rule of gunsmithing is don't get pissed off. When you get mad, put it down, walk away, don't get impatient. But hey, you know, after I've screwed it up to this point, it's like I'm good to go, so I kept going. Okay, I got out my trusty 52-piece drill bit set, and I selected a bit which they're not labeled, so I can't help you there, I know. Thanks for the help. But hey, this is what not to do. This is a tool you do not want to be using on your guns, okay? So I got the bit. I actually measured it, in all honesty, after the fact, because I got my second set of the Burnell's that didn't really work. And I measured the large end of the Burnell's tool with this drill bit, and the drill bit is actually several thousandths smaller, which I was kind of surprised. Of course, you know, remember I did this out of order. You should do this stuff first, but I was pissed, so I just, you know, let's do it. So what I did is I did what I couldn't do with the hand tool. Now keep in mind I had this gun completely apart when I did it. I've been putting it back together and I thought, hey, I haven't finished my video. So I took my trusty cordless and I ran the bit up in there, and well, I don't know if it's going to function properly, but it actually worked. So what not to do though. Okay, so I'm going to put this back together and see what I got. See if I can do this on camera. Probably not. I usually need a little bit of a help here. Use a paper clip sometimes. Don't scratch your frame doing this. There we go. Well, safety seems to be working alright. So let's see if it locks back on an empty mag. Hey! Well, if it doesn't do it prematurely, we'll see. Okay. Not bad. So if it works, I'll be okay. Safety still isn't great, but I could always put a new safety on it. But I think the plunger tube's going to work. Like I say, I'll find out when I get it out there and actually try it. So there it is. Smith&Wesson SW1911PD with a screwed up what not to do plunger tube job. So yeah, be patient and yeah, don't do that. Thanks for watching.